Yes, now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Thomas Rants YouTube channel. Recording this first thing in the morning, bit new. You can see my hair's soaking wet, but I've not had time. Actually, I lie, I had time last night, but I got home and then started playing GTA Online with my friends and got distracted. But can you blame me? I haven't been able to play GTA Online with my friends since Expanded and Enhanced came out, and basically just ruined my gaming life forever. You know, I used to play games for years. Well, for years, I say for years. From like 2019 to like 2022. But then with them having next gens, me being on old Xbox One, Expanded and Enhanced, and then just no games we could play, I just lost my love for the games. And then I got a next gen console. I got GTA Online back, and now we're happy again. We're happy again. I'm rolling millions now. It's so much easier to get good at the game. It's amazing. But anyway, that's not what we're here for today. Today we are here for Monday Night Raw. And what a spectacular episode. Yes, I mean spectacular. Now, there was some weeks where I've not sung the praises of WWE. These last few weeks, I've been singing their praises. And I don't know why I've been putting off watching these episodes for so long, because they are so goddamn good. They genuinely are so goddamn good. Now, this episode kicked off with Roman Reigns coming out. Obviously, fans are ecstatic. And before Roman could even say anything, well, he said acknowledge me, but then Bronson Reed came out. And we had the similar sort of segment that we had before Clash in Paris, where Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed referred to how they left Roman Reigns on a stretcher. After he beat them, by the way, they're acting as if Roman didn't beat Bronson Reed. But anyway, Roman got put on a stretcher taken out because Bron Breakker beat up Roman Reigns after the match and sent him away on a stretcher. So they've decided to run the match back in Australia and Crown Jewel, obviously, conveniently, and do it in an Australian street fight. Now, for me personally, I feel like this is just poor planning from WWE, because we all saw what their plan was. It was to have Bronson versus Roman, then Braun versus Roman, and then eventually Seth versus Roman. However, they've had Bronson versus Roman and then realised, oh shit, we're going to Australia and we've not got a match for Bronson Reed. Screw it, we'll just do a rematch with Roman Reigns. And to be fair, it makes sense. Slow cook it, why not? Because then if we do 2 matches with Bron Breakker, or even a third one with Bronson Reed, it puts us back more time. So eventually we can get Roman versus Seth at WrestleMania, because that's where I want it. Yeah, that's who I want to win the Rumble. That's what I want at WrestleMania. Do you get what I mean? Yeah, you do. Right. So I'm actually excited for this match. Australian street fight, call it what you want. It's a street fight. Yeah. It's the same as Sin City street fight. It's the same as every other city street fight that we've had. But apparently, Bronson Reed's undefeated in Australia, and that's the reason he's been scouted by WWE. So I'm excited to see what Bronson can actually bring in this street fight, what makes him so good at it. And it's nice to see Roman in a stipulated matchup like that. That is actually interesting and different, because we hardly see him, and to see him in the odd match, like we used to see him, like we used to be like, oh, can someone take the title off him, and we'd see the different ways he'd defend his title. But now with him not having a title and him just coming back doing random matches, I feel like stipulations are fun. So let's do that. I enjoy that. But anyways, later on in the night, we had Seth Rollins question Paul Heyman backstage. You know, it was more of like what happens if I don't win? And Paul, you know, was just trying to comfort him and back him up, saying, look, you're going to win. You're fine. You're Seth Rollins. You're going to win. And then Seth got mad at Paul. He was like, Paul, tell me what happens if I lose. And then Paul gives him the truth. He says, look, if you lose, all you've done for the vision and as of recent is for nothing. You will lose the faith of Bronson and Braun. You will lose the faith of the WWE fans. And it'll all mean nothing. Seth wasn't accepting that answer, because Paul left himself out of the equation. Seth said, Paul, you left yourself out. So tell me, what happens if I lose? Paul again tries to dance around it. And Seth's like, no. Tell me what happens. And Paul simply says that he would have to question why he picked Seth over Roman Reigns. Now, this is hitting hard, because Seth is concerned about losing to Cody Rhodes, because Cody Rhodes has the upper hand. We're talking 3-0, but are we forgetting before Cody left WWE when Seth was in the Shield? Are we forgetting those one-on-one matches? Because I'm pretty sure Cody Rhodes beat Seth Rollins back then as well. The score's higher than 3-0. And then when Seth tries to get a drop on Cody Rhodes or tries to beat him in a promo, he can't do it. Well, he can definitely beat him in a promo, but when he tried to get the drop on Cody Rhodes, he couldn't do it. Seth is paranoid. He's concerned that he won't be able to beat Cody Rhodes. And to him, Seth sees weakness there. He sees the vision crumbling when he thinks of that. So it's an interesting story to go off of, but I know Seth is winning. And maybe this is Seth actually doubting himself, and we'll just get Seth prevailing somehow. Or maybe this is Seth playing everyone like he did with the knee. He played everyone with his knee injury. Maybe he's playing everyone with thinking he's going to lose and give Cody some more confidence, and then Seth wins. And Seth always knew he could do it. That would be interesting. But hey, I'm just spitballing here. Next we had Lyra Valkyria doing her one-on-one match with Roxanne Perez, which I said I had a problem with because, like, we've already done that match. We've done Lyra, Roxanne, Raquel. We've done Bayley, Roxanne, Raquel. We need a tag team match at this point. But Bayley came to accompany Lyra anyway, and after, you know, a bunch of distractions and Raquel taking out Bayley, Roxanne Perez got a win over Lyra Valkyria clean. And I like that. I like that because Lyra beat Roxanne but couldn't beat Raquel. Bayley beat Roxanne but couldn't beat Raquel. It just looked like Roxanne was the weak link there. So, yes, there was a distraction, but with Roxanne getting a clean win over Lyra Valkyria, it's a bit more fair now, and it shows that Roxanne ain't no joke. Anyways, Bayley tried to get Lyra to copy her anger ways, and she dragged her down the ramp and said, let's go kick their ass. And that they did. They started scrapping backstage as if Bayley and Lyra were the heel. Could Bayley lead Lyra to turn heel and, you know, take her down this darker path? Or is this just a way of igniting a fire in Lyra Valkyria and Bayley? What I see personally is a short little tag team going on. I don't know how long this tag team will last, but I'm here for it because it's a great story. And I'm just wondering what's going to happen with Bayley's insane mind. Where are we going with it? And of course, I'm absolutely here for it. That's my favourite phrase. We had the match between Becky and Maxine. Some are calling it match of the year. Those would be delusional. Not discrediting the match whatsoever. Incredible from Maxine Dupri. Massive improvement in her in-ring work. Incredible from Becky Lynch. She knows how to make someone look good. Obviously, Maxine was making herself look good with her actual moves in wrestling, but Becky knows how to sell. Becky knows how to tell a story, and that was incredible from Becky. Like, people have no reason to back Maxine Dupri other than the fact that she's just an underdog. That's the only reason. She's never on TV. She's not that over. They have no reason to be as loud as they were, but because of Becky's selling and Maxine's improved in-ring work, we were able to tell a story that Maxine was coming out and surprising everyone and almost beat Becky Lynch. And then Becky, with that overconfidence, beating up the underdog, got herself counted out, and Maxine Dupri actually got the win. I mean, it wasn't for the title, but even if it was, the countout win wouldn't have won out of the title. But that sent shockwaves down everyone. No one expected Maxine Dupri to win, even in that way. And obviously, it made Becky kick off, and Becky was backstage kicking off for Seth Rollins. And it's probably going to go down further down the line. Probably not a long-term story, but Maxine's probably going to get a shot at the title where Becky will decimate her and whatever. But I can tell this isn't going to be a long-term story for Becky. It's more going to be a long-term story for Maxine Dupri, but not involving Becky. Just getting Maxine Dupri as an active wrestler, as someone who is in matches and in feuds. And this is her gateway into that. Meanwhile, Becky is going to feud with someone. She's got to feud with someone. Maybe AJ Lee if she comes back. Don't know. Obviously, that's up to WWE to decide and us to enjoy. So, yeah. And we had a little promo package about John Cena and AJ Styles. They were talking about all their past matches, how AJ was conquering TNA, WWE was conquering, John Cena was conquering WWE. They both met. AJ won both matches. They met again in 2017. Cena won, and that was it. That wasn't it. Are we forgetting that random episode of SmackDown in 2018 leading up to Fastlane where John Cena beat AJ Styles? Yeah, the game is not 2-1. The game is 2-2. So really, whoever wins this match is the better wrestler. John Cena has won the 2 most recent AJ Styles matches. If you don't believe me, right? These are the 4 Cena AJ Styles matches. Money in the Bank 2016. AJ Styles beats John Cena. I think it was Money in the Bank. Yeah, it was Money in the Bank. SummerSlam 2016. AJ Styles beats John Cena. Royal Rumble 2017. John Cena beats AJ Styles. SmackDown 2018. John Cena beats AJ Styles. Go fact check me. I guarantee I'm right. But anyways, they were backstage and the Judgment Day rose up on AJ Styles, trying to insult him about his match, trying to say he couldn't even beat Dominic Mysterio. How's he going to beat John Cena? And then they tried to insult AJ and Dragon Lee for thinking they could come after the World Tag Team titles. And that's when AJ suggested, look, why don't the 3 of you get in the ring? Me and Dragon will find a partner and we'll face it. Now, immediately I could tell this would be Penta, but I thought they'd bring him back, given that he was taken out by the New Day a couple of weeks ago. But no, he was just chilling backstage. So they went and got Penta, and that was the match that happened. And this, for me, probably could have been match of the night. It's between that and Becky and Maxine. But again, I feel bad for judging match of the night when sometimes I'm not looking. Like sometimes I'm traveling and I'm watching it on my phone as I'm traveling, but I've got to look up sometimes. But judged off what I was watching, this one's match of the night. And we're not done with Rusev and Dominic, because Rusev still came out to chase after Dominic because, you know, he was kicking off Adam Pearce earlier in the night because he got cheated out of the opportunity, so he deserves another opportunity, and it makes sense. So, absolutely, yes. And then AJ, Dragon Lee, and Penta got the win, and AJ finally got to say what he wanted to say on the mic. And that was that him and John Cena, they've had their matches in the past. They are now both at the ends of their careers. But he made a promise to the fans, because they made this match possible, that he is going to give it his all in that ring. Him and John Cena are going to leave nothing. They're going to leave everything in the ring. Which tells me we're going to get a hard-ass banger, which is all we should be getting, by the way. If this is John Cena's last matches and some of AJ Styles' last matches, we need nothing but banger. Do you know what I mean? So, yes, please. And we know John Cena and AJ Styles have chemistry. So let's do this shit. I don't want to hear no more criticism. Like, people can't, I know, like, it's in the past now anyway, but people can't criticize John Cena. Genuinely can't. Like, in-ring work, yes, he's not the best, right? At the actual execution of moves, or should I say, or the science of the technique of the moves. But in terms of ring chemistry and having a good wrestling match, John Cena is one of the best. And same with on the mic. The mic is what makes John Cena great. The mic is what makes anyone great. You can't be a great WWE superstar or a great champion without being able to sell yourself on the mic. Roman Reigns was always put in the spotlight, always winning WWE championships, but look at the difference back in 2015 to 2019 when he couldn't really cut a half-decent promo compared to 2020 and after when he was cutting a decent promo. Look how different the aura was. People say The Rock is better than John Cena. John Cena washed The Rock twice on the mic. Twice. Called him out for the promos on his wrist. Called him out for freezing in his promo the same way he did to Roman Reigns. And when he did it to Roman Reigns, it was, oh, John Cena just taught Roman Reigns a lesson. John Cena just screwed Roman Reigns. But when he did it to The Rock, radio silence. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Anyways, random rant. Not needed. I'm guessing we're done with Penta and the New Day. I don't know. I guess that's something we'll find out later on down the line. What else happened? Asuka confirmed a match between Kairi and Io, which Kairi wasn't happy about, but it had to happen. And Rhea Ripley wasn't there, but Asuka helped Kairi, saying cheat to roll up Io Sky, and Kairi saying got to win. Now there's a deeper story here. It's that Kairi's being abused and bullied and controlled by Asuka. And she doesn't want to fight Io. And Io always said there's still a chance for Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane looks like the ultimate underdog. She looks like she'd get beat up by Asuka, Io, and Rhea. But now she's just got a win over Io Sky. And something tells me that this feud where she's going to break out and she's going to become her own person, she's going to become a main star. She's going to start winning matches. She's going to look more powerful and dominant, which blows my mind that she doesn't now, because when she was in NXT, she was a dominant NXT Women's Champion. She was a great NXT Women's Champion. She was looked at as one of the best in the company. But then she was in the Kabuki Warriors in like 2020, and she just looked shit. It wasn't her, but like WWE's booking made her just look like a tag team wrestler. So it is what it is. And I like the Kabuki Warriors, I do. But I just think even tag team wrestlers, while they're still in a tag team, need more credit as a solos competitor. They are all able to wrestle. These just choose to be in a tag team. Like if Montez Ford went in a one-on-one match against like The Miz, I'd like to think Montez Ford has a fair chance at winning. But most of the time you wouldn't think that, because Miz is an experienced solo superstar, meanwhile Montez Ford is just a tag team wrestler. That's not how we're trained to think, but I think we shouldn't have to think like that, if that makes sense. Anyways, the main story of the night. Obviously, dressing last week, Roman Reigns was talking to Jey Uso backstage, and he was like, "You're getting distracted. There should be you out there. Who's out there tonight? Who's talking on the mic tonight?" And it was CM Punk. He said, "Why isn't it you? Go make it you." And obviously Roman is implementing the same mindset he had when he became Tribal Chief into Jey Uso. He's making Jey Uso care about himself and only himself, put himself first, make himself a priority until he's on top, and then he can worry about other shit. And that's when Jimmy obviously has a problem, right? And we're thinking at some point Roman's going to, give some happiness to Jimmy Uso. He's going to give some love. He's going to address Jimmy Uso. Boy, does he address Jimmy Uso. He told him, I see and hear everything. What's wrong with him taking advice from me? And he kind of called out Jimmy Uso for going against Jey and saying he's not like Roman Reigns. And Jimmy just kind of froze up and Roman left. Then later on they met again and Jimmy went, "You know what, Roman? The problem is he's not like you. Yeah, he isn't you. And the path he's leading Jey down isn't a good one." And then Roman says, "If you care about your brother, you'd get out his way." When he had the world title, he looked a lot more like me and less like you. And that's why Jimmy's got a problem. But anyways, CM Punk goes out there, cut a promo, and says he's staying out of Seth Rollins' way right now for the sake of Cody Rhodes, his good friend. However, when he's done, CM Punk would like a shot at the world title because he's overdue it. Obviously, his title was taken from him in a couple of minutes. He's beaten Seth Rollins one-on-one every time they've faced. And he plans on leaving this year as world champion. That's when LA Knight comes out, obviously been chasing the world title, saying, "Nana, I was the last person to pin Seth Rollins. I deserve a shot at the world heavyweight title," which again is true. But I think it's a bit hard because CM Punk has a bit more merit. I mean, CM Punk has beat Seth Rollins multiple times, and CM Punk has owed a rematch clause. So both men won it, and they were miking out for it. And then Jey Uso made his way out. Didn't really say much on the mic, just yeet. But they all look like a bunch of highlighters. I mean, CM Punk was wearing pink. LA Knight was wearing orange. That's not too bad. But and then Jey Uso was wearing like lime green. Like, what we're doing. But anyways, Jimmy Uso made his way out, and Jay's like, "What's he doing out here?" And that's when Jimmy super kicks LA Knight, because LA Knight was going in on everyone. Jey Uso super kicks LA Knight, and then Jimmy tries to stop CM Punk and Jey Uso from fighting, and then CM Punk gets around Jimmy and clocks Jey, and that's when Jimmy has to back his brother and takes out Punk. This sets up an eventual tag team match in the main event. I thought this would be like next week. No, in the main event we got CM Punk and LA Knight versus the Usos, Jay wasn't happy about the tag team match, but it had to happen anyways. And this is poetic because LA Knight and CM Punk were telling Jey Uso that he should be going back to being a tag team and stop sucking at being a tag team because they lost in their last tag team match. CM Punk and LA Knight didn't like each other, didn't want to get along. LA Knight just said, don't get pinned. Anyway, the eventual end of the match after Jimmy accidentally knocked LA Knight into Jey Uso was that CM Punk hit a GTS on Jimmy or Jay, or I think it was on Jay. And then LA Knight just tagged himself in and stole the pin, which obviously sets up a further rivalry between LA Knight and CM Punk, which I'm a fucking here for. And is further going to make the family rivalry worse between Jimmy and Jay. So I'm interested to see where this goes. Is this like Roman and Jay becoming heel? Is this Jimmy's time to break out? Are they actually going to fix their friendship? Are they going to do a tag team match and fix their brotherhood and become a dominant tag team again? I don't know. What I do hope it is it's Jimmy's time to shine. All his family are like, you know, like Solo and all that, where they're heel, or to Roman and Jay, where they've got these massive egos and they just want to push everyone out of the way to get the top. Jimmy's trying to keep the family together and just cares about the family. So eventually Jimmy's going to get his own. He's going to go, nah, screw this. Jay, we're having a rematch, you know, from WrestleMania 40. Jimmy's going to get the win. And eventually Jimmy's going to climb his way up and Jimmy's going to win a world title. And he's going to be able to say, I'm not just a tag team wrestler. Because Jimmy is the only Anoa'i family to never win a singles title. Apart from Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. But I don't know how close they are with the family. You know, Solo won titles. Sammy won. OG Bloodline member. Solo won titles. Sammy won titles. Jay won titles. Roman won titles, obviously. It's Jimmy's turn at some point. He's not just a tag team wrestler. He's not terrible. He's better on the mic than Jey Uso is. So, he needs some flowers at some point. Which I'm hoping he's going to get somewhere down the line, because I'm just digging Jimmy Uso more and more. Like, I used to be like, what's the point in Jimmy Uso? Because he's not... He botched quite a lot in the ring, and Jimmy and Jay, I think, are both past their prime at this point, because both botched quite a lot. But when I think about the mic skills as well with the ring skills, Jimmy's more versatile on both than Jay is. Jay's kind of cleaner in the ring somewhat, but not really. And he's not good on the mic. So Jimmy's better all round, if you ask me. Which is not what I was saying 2 years ago, but it was true 2 years ago. Now it's not. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.